There are moments in a life, seconds so charged that even the air seems to shiver, that you remember with perfect cinematic clarity. The first kiss, the thunderclap of a summer storm, the instant you realize you are absolutely, undeniably alive. Tonight, one of those moments just curled its fingers around the skyline. The 2026 Mercedes-Benz GLE has arrived, and the city exhales in stunned silence as this matte blue monarch slides out of the shadows, swallowing street lamps, bending reflections, rewriting the chemistry between heartbeat and horizon. At first glance, it doesn't look parked so much as perched, like a cathedral-carved predator measuring distance to prey. Midnight sapphire paint, darker than doubt, smoother than moonlight, on still water, absorbs every loose photon and sends back only a cold whisper of steel. The Panamericana grille towers up front, black chrome bars gleaming like piano keys waiting for the first rumble of bass. LED digital light blades lurk under jeweled eyebrows, capable of painting warnings, arrows, even words onto the tarmac. But here's the turn. The lower bumper yawns wide, chiseled into shark gill cutouts that inhale night air and exhale it through intercoolers the size of briefcases. 23-inch forged alloys, finished in obsidian gloss, fill flared arches with the tension of a bowstring drawn to its limit. Red AMG calipers pulse behind them like a concealed heartbeat. Walk a slow circle, and the design reveals layers of intent. The hood, subtly power-domed, casts a quiet threat in profile. Shoulder lines run straight as a spear, all the way to a tail-light signature that pulses crimson in a single, unbroken streak. No seams, no doubt. A carbon fiber diffuser, sculpted like the blade of an ancient axe, frames 4 rectangular exhausts, large enough to swallow fistfuls of wind. Then it moves, not yet under its own power, but in the way reflections ripple across its flanks, as though the metal itself were inhaling. You feel it before you touch it. Potential energy wound tight enough to hum under your fingertips. Open the frameless door, solid but soundless, and slip inside. You don't enter a cabin, you cross a threshold. Ambient light pours from concealed seams, flushing the cockpit in a slow-breathing aurora of copper, sapphire, and phantom violet. Turbine vents, rimmed in 18-karat rose gold, spin open with a servo hiss that feels equal parts watchmaking and witchcraft. The new MBUX hyperscreen arcs 62 inches across the dash in one seamless slab of glass. Icons float like constellations in midnight blue, responding to gestures as small as a sigh. Carbon fiber with a satin black weave cuffs the doors, the console, the lower dash, yet every touchpoint the fingers actually rest upon is upholstered in perforated nappa that smells faintly of warm cedar and distant oceans. Seats adjust in 14 directions, then add side bolster squeeze in the first corner, massage in 9 modes, heat to sauna levels, or cool to mountain dusk. The steering wheel is half suede, half micro-perforated leather, trimmed in night black aluminum with touch-sensitive controls that glow softly like embers in a forge. And that's when you realize, Mercedes hasn't built an interior. It has summoned an atmosphere. Press the glass-illuminated starter, and the world tilts. Up front lurks a 4-liter twin-turbo V8, now mated to a 100 kW axial flux electric motor that slips between engine and 9-speed automatic. In comfort mode, the hybrid pulses away from a curb in a hush, so profound you can hear distant city fountains. Total output tallies 680 horsepower and 811 pound-feet, but those numbers are just hieroglyphs until you tip the throttle past halfway and wake the storm. The electric motor slams its instant torque into both axles, vanishing lag, while twin turbos spool with a savage inhalation that sounds like pressure ripping paper. 0 to 60? 3.5 seconds, verified. Top speed? Electronically sealed at 174 miles per hour, though the chassis feels ready to punch a hole clean through that ceiling. E-active body control, now operating on a 48-volt nervous system, scans the road 1,000 times per second. Pothole? The wheel descends before the tire meets it, turns trauma into rumor. Corner? Hydraulic sway bars counterpress, flattening the cabin so wine glasses could live on the console. Then it moves. Properly. 4-wheel steering nips 2 degrees opposite the fronts at city speeds, shrinking the SUV into hatchback agility as you slither through Munich's medieval lanes or Cape Town's cliffside switchbacks. Above 60 km/h, the rears turn with the fronts, stretching the wheelbase, ironing straight every passing bend on an empty I-70 plateau. You're piloting two cars at once, a velvet sedan and a titanium supercoupe, fused together by code and cunning. Yet power without pause is merely exhibition, and Mercedes knows discretion is the sharpest sign of money well spent. Double laminated acoustic glass deadbolts the outside world. Active noise cancellation bleeds away low-frequency drone. Tap the Burmester 4D system, and 31 speakers, including resonant exciters in the seatbacks, turn Wagner into a full-body hallucination. The nav HUD throws a 77-inch augmented reality overlay across the windshield, so arrows float over the correct lane while passing speed limits glow at the edge of vision. Even the climate vents track the sun's angle, blowing cool on one side, warm on the other, balancing your personal weather like a devoted valet. In here, time softens, tension melts, miles lose meaning. But here's another turn. When road dwindles to gravel and city lights collapse behind you, you yank the new trail assist toggle. Ride height jacks 55mm, cameras in the bumper beam, a transparent hood view onto the screen, and torque vectoring reorients like a chess master switching strategies mid-game. Rain lashes the bonnet, wind claws the fenders, but the car just keeps moving monarch calm up rutted passes, across flooded fords. Steel meets storm, and steel wins. Even a monarch answers to accountants eventually, so let's speak plainly. In the United States, the 2026 GLE 450e opens at $72,500. The fire-breathing AMG 63 seconds E-Performance starts at $129,800. Germany sees it at 79,900 euros and 136,200 euros respectively, while South Africa tags them R1, 55 million, and R2, 7 million. There are faster ways to lose that money, but none this composed. Order books open now. Deliveries commence Q3 2025. Consider your driveway the red carpet premiere. Legacy. The badge bears two triangles of weight. One for the world that was, and one for the world we insist on creating. The first GLE invented its class. This one defies it. It carries the S-Class creed of serenity, the G-Class pledge to roam, the AMG obsession with pulse rate, all refracted through technology so advanced it feels suspiciously like rebellion. Owning it is less about transportation than about authoring your own weather pattern. Temperatures fall. Conversations hush. Priorities realign the moment the matte blue silhouette rolls into view. Night deepens. A deserted stretch of coastal asphalt yawns ahead like a promise. You thumb the steering wheel mode dial to Sport Plus, and gauges flare scarlet. One flick, one crackle of quad pipes, and the horizon bends back in startled respect. Street lamps whip overhead in stroboscopic rhythm, the engine chanting its baritone psalm, while electric torque scribbles fresh equations across the rear rubber. The GLE doesn't sprint so much as recalibrate distance, turning kilometers into single inhalations of power and thunder. The world behind you compresses, the world ahead surrenders. And that's when you realize, between the microbeats of forced induction and silence, that driving can still feel like the very first time you outran a storm. Tomorrow, parked under office fluorescence, it will shrink its menace, soften its voice, become the gentleman scholar again. But the people who watched it streak past tonight will remember only the aftertaste of ozone in the air, the way the matte monarch seemed to drink gravity itself, and the low, echoing verdict of four tailpipes disappearing into the dark. Some machines beg for attention. This one changes atmospheric pressure, names its own season, and proves once and forever that true power speaks in a whisper only the brave dare to follow.